August 1942. The German Sixth Army, spearheading Army Group B, plunged eastward, its objective clear: Stalingrad. The city on the Volga River stood as a crucial strategic prize, blocking Soviet oil routes. Hitler's directives demanded its capture. As German panzers outran Soviet defenses, the Luftwaffe began its devastating aerial assault, turning the city's outskirts into rubble before ground troops even arrived. On August 23rd, wave after wave of German bombers unleashed firestorms. Hundreds of thousands of civilians remained trapped as their homes, factories, and lives evaporated in smoke and flame. The initial assault quickly transformed Stalingrad from a bustling industrial hub into a desolate wasteland. Buildings were gutted, streets cratered, and the very air choked with dust and ash. Within this hellscape, the Red Army dug in. Stalin's Order No. 227 declared, "Not one step back," a command enforced with brutal resolve, turning every soldier into a defender unto death. General Vasily Chuikov's 62nd Army became the city's shield. They learned to fight not for ground, but for individual buildings, rooms, and even piles of rubble, adapting to the brutal urban terrain. The battle descended into an unprecedented struggle for every brick. German infantry, accustomed to blitzkrieg, found themselves caught in a meat grinder, advancing mere yards at immense cost. Fighting moved from street level to sewers, from basements to rooftops. Snipers became critical, targeting officers and machine gun crews, turning every exposed moment into a gamble with death. The iconic grain elevator, a multi-story concrete fortress, saw ferocious battles. Its capture and recapture exemplified the desperate, close-range struggles for strategic strongholds. Throughout September and October, the battle raged across the city's industrial heart: the Red October factory, the barricade, and the tractor plant. These ruined giants became killing fields. Logistical nightmares plagued both sides. For the Soviets, supplies and reinforcements crossed the Volga River under constant German fire, often freezing or sinking in the treacherous waters. German supply lines stretched thousands of kilometers. As autumn turned to a brutal winter, fuel, ammunition, and food became dangerously scarce for the advancing Wehrmacht. The constant artillery barrages and close-quarters engagements created a hellish cacophony. Soldiers lived in a permanent state of high alert, their nerves shredded by the ceaseless violence. German General Paulus reported that his units were bleeding out. Despite capturing most of the city, Soviet resistance, particularly around the Volga banks, remained unbroken. The Rats' War, as the Germans called it, turned soldiers into subterranean fighters, navigating tunnels and debris. No man's land shrank to a few meters, sometimes mere feet. Soviet snipers, expert at camouflage and patience, inflicted heavy psychological and physical tolls. They stalked the ruins, eliminating high-value targets with deadly precision. Winter descended, bringing with it biting cold and heavy snow. The extreme temperatures added another brutal dimension, freezing weapons, vehicles, and men alike. On November 19, 1942, the Red Army launched Operation Uranus. A massive pincer movement, spearheaded by tanks and infantry, struck the thinly held flanks of the German Sixth Army.
Românian și Hungarian forțe, protectând germanii flancii, fură swift overwhelmed. The Soviet drive created a colossal trap, sealing the fate of over 250,000 Axis soldiers within the Stalingrad pocket.
Inside the Kessel, the cauldron, German troops faced dwindling supplies and relentless Soviet pressure. Hitler refused retreat, ordering Paulus to hold Stalingrad at all costs. The Luftwaffe attempted an airlift to resupply the trapped Sixth Army, but Soviet anti-aircraft fire and poor weather conditions rendered it largely ineffective. Thousands of men starved or froze.
Desperate German attempts to break the encirclement, like Field Marshal Manstein's Operation Winter Storm, failed to reach the trapped forces. The ring around Stalingrad held firm.
The trapped soldiers, weakened by hunger and frostbite, resorted to eating horses, dogs, and whatever meager rations remained. Morale plummeted as the grim reality of their situation set in.
Soviet artillery and air attacks pounded the pocket relentlessly, chipping away at German defenses. Each day brought more casualties, more despair, and less hope. By January 1943, the pocket had shrunk dramatically. Divided into northern and southern sectors, German resistance became fragmented, desperate, and ultimately futile.
On January 31, 1943, Field Marshal Paulus, promoted by Hitler to prevent his surrender, defied orders. He and his staff capitulated in the southern sector of the pocket.
The final German holdouts in the northern sector fought for 3 more days, finally surrendering on February 2nd. The Battle of Stalingrad, after 163 days of relentless combat, was over.
More than 91,000 German and Axis soldiers marched into Soviet captivity, many succumbing to disease and starvation on the long march to POW camps. Few ever returned home. The human cost was staggering, an estimated 2 million casualties on both sides, making Stalingrad one of the deadliest battles in human history. The city itself was utterly destroyed. Stalingrad shattered the myth of German invincibility. It marked the definitive turning point on the Eastern Front, forcing the Wehrmacht into a strategic defensive from which it never recovered. For the Soviet Union, it was a moment of immense triumph and sacrifice. The defense of Stalingrad became a symbol of national heroism and unyielding will. The ruins of Stalingrad, a testament to unimaginable suffering, bore witness to a struggle that forever altered the course of World War II. A city sacrificed, a continent saved.